Hi guys, I'm back again. This is a part two of my journey into real estate. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I got into real estate and where I learned about real estate. How you doing, by the way? Just about 5 minutes ago, I made a first part of this video, the introduction to real estate or my journey to real estate. Now this is the second part of the video, how I got inspired by watching my mother, how she dealt with the situation, the impoverished situation I grew up in, and the poverty we face, and how she started real estate. Now I'm going to take you back a long time ago when I was growing up in India. I think it was years probably 1969 or 1970. I grew up in New Delhi, and in my previous video I talked about how my father had a job working for the government, and he was used to make an antenna for weather department, and it was a meteorological department. He was not very educated. I think he probably had a 10th grade education, but he was very good with hands. So he got that job, and you know how he got the job. India got independence in 1947, and there was a big parade. He used to live in a different state, and near Taj Mahal, that the town called Agra, and Agra is about 70 or 80 kilometers, or probably if I'm right, from Delhi. So him and his friend came to celebrate the Independence Day of India in 1947 to New Delhi. And him and his buddies, while I was celebrating and watching the parade, and a couple of actually people, the cops, asked them whether they were employed. They were young men, and they told them. They first got scared. They thought that they must have done something wrong, but apparently they didn't do anything wrong. And the cops were actually looking for young men to get jobs with the government. And so they asked my father also, what his education he had, and he told them that he was, according to what my father told us over the years, when we were growing up, that he did not have a whole lot of education, but he was very, very good with his hands. So they gave him a job. They gave him a job working for the meteorological department and making antennas, weather-related antennas for the Indian government, or for the weather department of India. But anyhow, they gave him a small apartments, about 750 square feet, one bedroom apartment, living room, and it had a hallway. And a hallway is sort of not a typical hallway, but it was probably about 10 to 12 feet wide, and probably about 20 feet long. And then a bathroom, and an apartment with a bathroom and a kitchen. And there was a bathroom was actually divided into two little sections. One was the area where you have a commode, another area was where you have a separate unit completely where you take shower. So anyhow, I grew up in that setting, and we were 7 kids, and mother and father, and a grandmother. So things were very tight. He used to make about 300 rupees per month, and 300 rupees per month back in the day. Now today's economy is about 300 rupees is probably in dollars, probably $4 or $5. But back in the days, the dollar was not that strong against Indian rupees, so I would say that he used to make about, let's say, $20 a month. And since we were 7 kids, and a grandmother and a father, so father really could not provide enough for us food and tuition for school, books, clothing for all the children he had. And so father and mother had a lot of differences about it, and we grew up in a very unhealthy, emotionally and physically environment, and financially definitely it was really bad. So what happened is that father and mother, since they have so much differences, so father said that, well, he will take over the living room, and the living room was decent size. Well, I don't blame him, because living room, he used to work, and he used to ride bike both ways. Each way was, I would say, at least 5 kilometers, so close to 4 miles every day, each way. So 8 miles to 10 miles he was riding a bike, so he would get tired. So he really needed some rest. And this apartment was on first floor, it was a two-story building, and one section of the building had 4 apartments, and then you have right in the middle of you have stairs, and then east side of the stairs, the apartment on first floor, and then there's a set of apartments on the second floor. For the second floor people, you go up on the stairs, and then there were door on the right and the door on the left. Left hand side people will go in their apartment, right hand side people will go in their apartment, and we were on the right hand side. So, and I still remember it was a beautiful, fascinating time as far as going back into childhood, but really it was a hard time. But anyway, the father took over the living room, and then he gave my grandmother and my sister, older sister, she would stay with the grandmother, and she had a hallway, and so she was my grandmother and my sister older sister will sleep in the hallway, and then me and my other 5 siblings and my mother, we got a kitchen, and we got a bedroom, and bedroom had a little balcony outside, so you can see outside. There was a decent side of ground there, covered with grass, and it had a little boundary, and so it was pleasant, but it was nothing fancy. And then there was a road on the left hand side. It was a little bit decent side road. I would say that probably 20 feet wide, and it was a main street, and then there was a side street to it. It was rather smaller. So you stand in the balcony and you can see the people and the traffic is moving. Anyhow, so that's the kind of a setting. The reason I'm talking about this setting, so that it will give you some sort of a visual that how I grew up. So my mother and my 5 siblings, we got the bedroom. Now the things were tough. Things were horrible, I would say. We did not have food, and just to get the fuel for my mother to cook meals, we would go to the train station, where back then the trains were run by locomotive engines. So we would go after dark, we would go to the train station to get coal, and the engine would come, steam engine would come, and they would put water in the water tank of the engine, and also they had a huge big furnace where they will burn the coal to create the steam. And the people who work in the locomotive engine, they will throw the ashes out, and with the ashes they will just throw some coal out, and the coal is really, sometimes very hard to see, and then the coal was burning, and we were just basically, me and my sister and my brother, we will hunt for that coal. So as soon as these people threw out the ashes, and we will go after the ashes, and there were other poor people around too, so we were sort of it was a little competition there. So we will just put our hands in the ashes, and sometimes our hands would get severely burned, and we will grab the burning coal and red amber and run with the burning coal toward the water, so we can douse the fire, and then the lot of steam will come out, and the coal will sort of calm down, and then we will take that coal in our backpack and bring home for mother to make meals. And sometimes it was so hard to even get that little bit of coal, because there were other poor people actually were competing with us. But that was fun too, because chasing something which you don't have, it creates more fun. And we were also very young, so it was just it was altogether fun. I didn't enjoy it, but it was okay. So anyhow, what happened is that my father could not provide enough for us to eat. So my mother finally decided that she would rent out that room, and she would do some sewing. And I think I probably was 8 or 9 or 10 years old. I don't remember exact age. So I would watch her how hard she was working, and she will do whatever she could, to make a little bit of money, very little money. I'm talking about pennies. And then she finally decided that okay, 5 kids and herself, we will live in the kitchen. So she rented out that room, and to a couple of guys who were from out of town, they would come to New Delhi to work, and they were paying us back then in American dollars, I would say $7 to $8 per month rent. And I was watch how she was struggling and how we were struggling, and how hard it was for her to make $5 or $10 a month by sewing and by doing whatever odd job she could have done, and bring groceries to for us, and a little bit of groceries actually father provided, but it was not enough for all of us. And then I realized that after watching my mother renting out their room, that how easy it was. Here she was working so hard, and I used to tutor a couple of young boys, and so we were all actually pitching in, but it was still not enough money. So I noticed that how easy it was for her to make that $7 or $8 in rent without doing a whole lot and without doing much. So every first of the month, these tenants will give her 100 rupees. Like I said earlier, it was close to $7 or $8, and for her to make $7 or $8 in an entire month with a lot of hard work, it was a lot harder than getting a rent, $7 or $8. So I thought, I didn't think whole lot or much about it, but somehow the seed got planted that it's easy to make money by renting. You don't have to do much. Just have a space, clean it up, and when new tenants come in, you whitewash the room, clean the room, and provide them a decent room, put the curtains on and all that, and provide basic furniture. And I thought that it was an easy money compared to what we used to do. So I thought, oh my God, this is the way to do it. And that information somehow got in my head. I never thought much about it, that someday I'm gonna get in real estate, but that's where the seed was planted. That's how I started thinking about real estate. So that's the introduction of real estate. That's how I became introduced to rental market, and that was just fascinating for me, how easy it was to make money. But since I was very young then, so I didn't think much about that I would take that information into new level sometime down the road in my life. So that's how I got that seed planted in my head, that what it takes to be a landlord and how easy it is to make money through renting. So guys, my mother planted that seed without even knowing that she was training her boy to become a real estate guy down the road in the future in the United States of America. So that's my introduction to how I got introduced by real estate by mother. It was not intentional. She did not decide that she would feed that or plant the seed into my mind, but this is how I got introduced to real estate. Thank you very much for watching the video, and if you like this video, then subscribe my channel and subscribe my channel and tell your friends about it. Thank you again. I'm gonna make a part 3 video. This series is gonna go on and on and on for some time, and like I said earlier, I'm making short videos. So thank you very much. Watch my next video, and then you will learn how I brought that information in my mind, and my mother planted in my head and into here in the United States, specifically in Bloomington, Indiana, USA. Thank you again. Part 3 will be coming up soon.